What is going on, beautiful people? Okay, we have to talk about something because I'm a little late to the party and a few of us are still confused. All right, today we're going to be talking about AI and how it can contribute to really our lives, our livelihood, and really just work as a designer. A lot of people are out here like, no, it's not good. A lot of people are like, yes, it's plenty good, and it's gonna do a lot of great things for us as designers, speeding up our workflow, making things more efficient, and just allowing us to be even more creative in the things that we're doing. So with that said, we are going to actually showcase to you guys live today how you can use AI to literally build a website from scratch, from inspiration to actually building it with zero code. Now let's talk about and show you guys what I promised you in the beginning. Let's go and use ChatGPT for inspiration and move all the way to a finished no-code website using EditorX. So let's dive in. All right, first things first, we are going to head over to our EditorX community, and we're just gonna, we don't need to scroll all the way to the bottom. So I'm totally gonna, one of our community members really already, I absolutely love these. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to copy link, and I am going to do, this is also another little hack that some of you guys may or may not know. Let me do version 1. Let me grab this. All right, so it's gonna grab this. I'm gonna let it generate very quickly. But basically, I'm gonna make a new version of that. We're gonna get our new inspiration, and we are going to take that and literally build it in EditorX in a matter of minutes. All right, cool. So I'm going to do, let's just rock with this one. Let's upscale number 1. All right, so what we're gonna do, this is the format of what we're looking for. What I'm doing right now is I am generating just the content for the shoes so I can use those as assets, and then we'll bring everything on over to EditorX. We'll make a desktop, tablet, and mobile version in no time. Nice. All right, so we have these. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna just upscale these puppies. So I am going to upscale all these pups. And I'm actually going to go to my profile here. I should be able to get all the upscale content. And while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and just open up our EditorX software right here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new site, and I am also going to scoot in here a little bit. So EditorX, and we are going to pick a blank canvas. All right, so let's take a peek here. Let's take a look at our progress. I'm gonna close some of these. I'm gonna close these two. And I'm gonna refresh our MidJourney here. And we've got our 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna do our last one. This should automatically be doing, there we go. We'll wait for that. And these should all be populating here as well. All right, so we have all 4 of our shoes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 already given to us in our Discord. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna refresh here. We're gonna basically take every single one of these. We're gonna bring them into Photoshop. We're gonna cut them out, and we are going to utilize them for our website. So I am going to just open up each of these. I'm gonna save these images as, I'm just gonna put them on my downloads. So we've got 1. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're actually gonna head over to ChatGPT. And actually, I'm gonna test something. I'm gonna see if it is still up and running, or it's still a test, but I'm gonna see if this actually works. So we are going to do Ask Me. So GPT, we want to know, can you make up a luxury shoe brand name, as well as write me a tagline for the brand to put on the homepage of the website. All right, step into luxury, easy day. What should the title be for the product slider on the site? Let's go ahead and make sure we're making that a question. Ask me, discover the finest footwear for every occasion as the title for the product slider. All right, so let's check that. Let's play with that, okay? So we are gonna go, we have our EditorX open. This is supposed to be, let's go ahead and do, I kind of want to do it like a little bit like this, right? I like that both this and I really like this one. Okay, so maybe we'll have our footer here. Maybe we'll have a nice little display here, and we'll have our, what's we call it? We'll just have our images like this. So let's go ahead and play real quick. So I'm gonna set this to be 100% VH. So we have 100% vertical height. I'm going to also, I'm gonna separate this into two parts, top and a bottom. Okay, the top, or even our navigation here. Let's see. We're gonna set this entire page. Here, we're gonna set it to have a color. So we're gonna set it to this for a second, but I'm going to take this, I'm gonna bring it into Figma, and I am just going to grab the color of this, the hex, and I'm gonna bring it into, I'm just gonna add it here. So I'm gonna edit this, go into the, actually this brown color, and I'm just gonna edit this here. Boom, apply. And now we've got our pages, boom, instead of black, we're gonna do that nice little brown here. I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said before, we have to actually go through and cut out all of the, we have to cut out all of the Instagram, or not the Instagram, we have to cut out all of the images that we used and got from GPT. So I'm gonna open up all of these, holding shift, and I'm gonna open with Photoshop. And of course in the video we'll speed past this so you guys can immediately get into when we're configuring things in the actual EditorX platform. So very quickly, gonna use my marquee tool. And Brian, you can decide to cut this out or not. Select masks, select subject. And we are going to add back some of our shoe here. All this we're gonna remove. And of course, go as detailed as you want. So we have taken all of our inspiration from MidJourney, and now we have brought those assets into Photoshop. We've basically cut all of those shoes out, and now we're gonna bring it into EditorX, and we're gonna start designing. Like I said, this is what we were taking for as inspiration, so let's begin. We already have our background. We're gonna go ahead and we are going to, like we have already done, we basically used ChatGPT 3 or ChatGPT in our community. We basically asked it, what should the brand name and the tagline be, as well as what should be some of the content that is within that homepage as well. So we're gonna call this Luxor Shoes. We're gonna copy that. We're also going to steal whatever the color of this text is. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go in our EditorX, we're gonna remove the logo here. I am actually just going to add a title, and I am going to call it Luxor Shoes. And just like we did with the color previously, we are going to go into, we're gonna jump in here, we're gonna grab the color for some of the text in here. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in pretty into this. Maybe I'll grab this. Looks like maybe it's a combination between this color. Let's go ahead and grab that. And it might be a little bit lighter, so maybe we'll go here. So we'll grab this, we'll go back to EditorX, we'll go into editing our text, we'll grab the color, we're gonna add it right in here. There we go, let's actually make sure we select our color here. There we go, so we have our Luxor Shoes as our logo. We're going to set this to be max content. Okay, we're gonna just drag this right over here, and we might actually uppercase this. So Luxor Shoes. We might pick a different font later, ladies and gentlemen. We'll figure it out as we go. Let's just rock with that for right now. Okay, now let's bring some of the shoes in. So I am going to move this here. I'm gonna go ahead and quick add a image, and we're gonna pull in our very first shoe here. So change image, upload media, upload our content just like this, right here, our four shoes. And we are going to get that nice golden one right here. We're going to not change image, we are going to make sure that it scales. So boom, display mode, we are going to fit to bounding box, keep image ratio, and we're gonna find a nice size for it just like this. And we're gonna just set it in the center here. This totally does not fit this, so let's go ahead and we'll figure that out. Right. And of course, we can always change this in the future, but let's go ahead and pick, we're gonna pick this. Maybe we'll rock with that. Lugs or shoes. That looks about, that looks like it could be. Okay, so we have our first shoe. And we maybe we could bring something back like this again. But let's go ahead and get into this next piece here where we have all these shoes. They're back and forth, or, you know, back to back. And let's just go ahead and do that. So let's go back to our editor X here, editor X, and we're gonna go ahead and add a container. So quick add, we're gonna grab a container. We're gonna drop this right into this section. We're gonna basically scale it to the full size of it. And instead of, I'm gonna set this 100% width and minimum height 100% as well, so it fills that container. And we are gonna set this puppy to be a 4-column container. So we're gonna have one image here, one image here, one image here, one image here. And we're gonna have padding on the left and right of this. We're gonna have 100 pixels from the right and 100 pixels from the left for padding. Looks like padding is what we were looking for. 200 by 200. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is we are going to squeeze. We're going to put in 4 more of our images. We're going to quick add image. Place this right up in here. We're going to scale this. So 1, duplicate. Move this over. Scale it. Duplicate. Move it over. Scale it. Duplicate, move it over to the grid cell, scale it up. Okay. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to change these images. We're going to use this. Change image. And I'm going to make sure that all of our aspect ratios, we're going to reset image so that we have all of the proper aspect sizes for our shoes. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab our container, reduce the background here to absolute 0 so we have no gray background. And now let's go ahead and we have parts of this already done. So now we just need some of our text. We need some of our white lines here for separation. There are some shadows on the shoes. Obviously you guys can go ahead and do that if you so wish, but I want some of these are our taglines, some of these other words in here. So let's go ahead and add some of that. So I'm going to go ahead and quick add. I'm going to grab a title and let's go ahead and get some of our, let's step into luxury. Let's grab this. Step into luxury. We are going to scale this to be like, let's do 75 pixels. And we are going to steal, this is Agathor. Let's go ahead and take our gold color. Let us edit our spacing. So instead of auto, we're going to do 1.2. Custom EM, we'll do 1.2. Let's see if we just do 1. And let's do 0.8. Let's just do the 1 line, see what that looks like. Maybe something like this. Maybe we'll grab a little bit of a line here. Just getting a little bit of what's we call it, inspired, right? All right, so I'm gonna put all of this stuff in a container. So this, place in container. I'm going to center this. This container and this text I am going to also place in a container. And I'm going to do a 1x2. This Luxor shoe part is going to be at the top, and this container is just going to be in the bottom. Easy day. So these, I'm just going to make this so that it's max content, and same thing here. Perfect. So we have this. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to make our vertical lines. I'm going to take this, So this is about 2 pixels. I'm gonna set this to 1 so it's a little bit more fine. I'm gonna take this, or rather I'm gonna go back to this and I'm gonna grab our decorative lines just like this, vertical, and I'm gonna pull them in just like this into our container. I'm gonna set these puppies to be 100%. And you know, one of the things that I actually liked about, if we look at this, there's like a little bit of this goes up a little bit, this goes all the way, this goes up a little bit. So maybe we'll actually incorporate that to see what we can do. So maybe we'll do the height. So maybe like 80% here. I'm gonna drop this to the bottom here. Maybe we'll do 75. Duplicate this. We'll pull this over here. We're gonna set this to be 100. And before I continue, I'm actually going to change the colors of both of these lines. Duplicate this. I'm gonna set it to the last one here. And I'm gonna set this maybe to 35% height. And place it to the bottom. Okay. So previewing, so far so good. I do want to have a little bit, I'm gonna maybe reduce the height a little bit of, what's we call it? I'm gonna maybe add a little bit of a gold there, a gold line there. Because all these things, they pretty much have like a nice little shadow. And all these lines, they're kind of like, they're not super strong. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set all of these, I'm gonna set the opacity to maybe like 10%. 10, copy this, and I'm going to do the same to all these other bits. And you know what? We might end up actually just doing, what's we call it? Okay, so they're nice and light, and I might actually just make all of them 100%. In height. Just so it's uniform. And I will increase the size of this just a little bit. And I think what I will do with this section, instead of 100% VH, I will do 110 VH. Okay, so we have luxury shoes, step into luxury. And what else are we doing? We got pretty much like a little bit of a menu here. We definitely have our logo. We have our menu here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have like little paragraphs. Clean. And we'll just have like little, I can't spell glamorous. GPT, how you spell glamorous? Let's see if we can. All right. Okay, so we're just using these basically as filler words, kind of to get this sort of thing going on over here. And they might be super tiny. They're really only just meant for decoration, not even really to be read, essentially. We're gonna give a little bit of a space, maybe like 3. And I want to, definitely not that. We have, I'm going to add a couple of menu items. So I'm just gonna go to my pages. I'm gonna add, we have our home. I'm just gonna add shop. About. Maybe new. Okay, we're gonna go back to our home page. Go to our menu, manage menu, add new item, site page, and we're gonna add all of our items just like this, hit apply. There we go, we have all of our menu items here. We're now gonna just go to the styling of our menu and we're just gonna pick our text. We're gonna go and use, not Poppins, but what we've been using here, which is our Agatho. And we are going to make sure that the size of the text is about 18 so we can actually read these puppies. Maybe 20. Now our regular, we're gonna pick our gold color. Now our clicked, we are going to pick a white color. Hover, same thing, and pick a white color. And let's just preview this really quick. Okay, so we're at home, shop, about, new. We have our shoes down here. Obviously, it's not yet a slider. We totally could do that, but for right now, we're just leaving this as is. We have our little messaging right here. We could have a little bit of a paragraph explaining to us what exactly is luxury shoes or luxury shoes. So I'm going to go ahead and add this right here. Again, I'm going to use our nice little gold color that we got. We are going to drop the size of this to be around 16. We're going to go back to GPT. And I'm asking it, what would be the first paragraph of the Luxury Shoes website be? The first paragraph of the Luxury Shoes website would be something like, welcome to Luxury Shoes, where you can find the best and finest footwear for every occasion. Our collection of luxury shoes is crafted with the highest quality material and designed to provide maximum comfort and style, whether you're looking for a classic pair of dress shoes or something more modern, edgy. We have something for everybody. All right, we're just gonna steal that, which is actually pretty good. We're just gonna right click this, boom. There we go. We're gonna increase the size of this just a little bit, and ta-da. Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to make we're gonna use this container actually again. We're gonna make it 3 parts, 3 rows. We're gonna hit OK. Again, we're gonna make luxury, or our luxury title text. We're gonna make sure that is in our top section. We're gonna make this container that we have here. This is going to be in our second section here. And we're gonna take this text and we're gonna plop this in our container and make it be in our third section, just like this. Now we're gonna select this, not this section, but we're gonna select this entire container. We're gonna set this to max content like we have been doing for everything else in here. And we are going to add a little bit of padding at the top, probably like 15 pixels. So we have some paragraph breathing room between this and this. Okay. And you know what? We might be able to even cut this a little bit more. Maybe we'll just cut it to right about here. Now, I might squeeze this just a little bit just to get, there we go. And what I want to do here, I'm going to grab this color again. I'm going to add another color. I want to make this a little bit darker just so it doesn't stand out as much. So maybe, and of course, guys, we're just doing design aesthetic here. Of course, there will be eligibility issues, but I'm trying to find a nice color that we can use. So I'm going to go ahead and add. We're going to pull this down just a little bit, just make it a little bit darker. Here, we'll hit apply. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good, guys. So this also, I might probably pull this down to be that brown here. So at least it's a nice little design. It has some design aesthetic, but it's nothing too crazy. Now this line here, I want to steal this for our menu here, for our logo actually. So we're gonna take these two, we're gonna place them in a container, and this will be our logo, LS. And so we have our menu. We're looking good so far here. We are going to take this, make sure that it's docked to the top. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we will have on the channel, we will showcase to you guys how you can actually build things like this using Figma, literally pressing a button. And after you've designed everything in Figma, it actually uploads into EditorX as a fully built website. Stay tuned for more of that. But so far, guys, this is what we have. Let's go ahead and preview this. So this is our website. We have luxury shoes, step into luxury, welcome to the luxury shoes, where you can find the finest footwear for every occasion. Our collection of luxury shoes is crafted with the highest quality material and designed to provide maximum comfort and style. So we have our main shoe here, we have our other shoes down here, and of course if we wanted to make this a slideshow, we totally can. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more padding here to some of our sections. So here at the bottom padding, we're going to add about we'll add about like 50 here, so we have some push from the bottom. I'm also going to do this here as well to the top, and I am going to extend the height to be 120 so we can have a little bit more breathing room between all of the content here. Okay, now let's talk about some of the other things. We talked about we're going to do desktop, tablet, and mobile, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's shrink this baby to tablet. This is gonna be a very, very easy fix. Before I do that, I'm actually gonna go into my container here. I'm gonna set this container where we have the sub headline and our line here. I'm gonna set this to be a 2x1. This step into luxury, I'm gonna only have in the left-hand side. And our line here, we're only going to have in the right-hand side, and we're gonna set this to be 80%. We're gonna dock it to the right. Step into luxury is going to be docked to the left and to the top. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to go to our tablet. We're going to go ahead and start messing with our stuff here. So our line, we're going to put that back to where it should be, just like this. Okay, so we have our luxury shoes. This, very simply, all I have to do is just upscale this. I'm just going to put it right here, make sure it's aligned. This, maybe I'll put it towards the bottom. Maybe align it with the shoe right about here. This is looking pretty good. Our menu, our hamburger menu, it automatically, because EditorX is pretty smart, it takes the desktop menu and automatically turns it to a hamburger menu, and it already has all of our menu stuff in there. I'll show you guys in just a second. All I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of our menu. Our logo is just the same. Our content here is perfect. And all we're going to do with our container here is we are going to reduce the amount of padding that we have here. So we're going to set this to about 50 from the right. And our content, we are going to do maybe 20 from the top, 20 from the bottom. And maybe we do even less. Maybe we do 20. There we go. And everything pretty much scales, guys. So I'm going to give a little bit more room to the top here. We'll do maybe, we're gonna get more space, and so instead of 120, we're gonna do 130 VH. Okay, or actually, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna pull this up, just like that. That's the great thing about EditorX. I don't have to just always do things by numbers. I simply can just drag a grid and basically give all this stuff more space. I'm gonna scale this down just a little bit here. I'm gonna take this entire container, this here as well. I'm gonna set the width to be max content, or rather, I'm gonna set this, instead of 80%, I'm gonna set this to pixel width. Set this to max content. There we go. And I am going to set this to be a very particular size. I'm gonna set this to be 80. And I want the maximum width of this to be exactly where it is. So we have one FR, all right, this is, all right, we will set this to max width. And width max content. All right. Okay. Push this up just a little bit using my arrow keys. All right, so we're looking good here. We have our nice little slits. I'm gonna actually take these to be, these little lines, I'm gonna set them to be 50%, and I'm gonna set them to be in the center. And I'm gonna see if I can actually make the shoes a little bit bigger. So we're gonna set these to about 95. Let's do 90 and 90. All right, let's jump to 85. Still need a little bit more space. 85, 85, and 85. Let's give it, we still need it, we'll make it a little bit smaller. So 75, 75, copy that, and 75. Now, of course, if I wanted to, I could make these actually be vertical if I really wanted to. Very simply by going from 4x1 to 1x4, and we have now all of these vertically, and we would have to we'd have to change a whole bunch of not a whole bunch of things. We would have to change the section height, because right now it's basically saying please only be 120% of the vertical or the viewport that this is being looked at. I could set this to auto and basically start doing things from scratch from here, but I'd rather not do that and just keep things simple for right now. So let's go ahead. We're gonna keep this as is. We're gonna go to our our mobile here, and all we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna decrease the size of this. So I'm actually gonna bring this to, instead of max content, we're gonna set this to be a pixel size. So we're gonna stack this. We're gonna also stack, I think we'll keep the step into luxury. We are going to don't display this line here. We're gonna set this to a 1x1. This container here, we're gonna set to max content. Our paragraph here is looking good. We might squeeze this a little bit. We might squeeze this into, I'm just gonna pull it in just like that. We're gonna make sure this is in the top here. We're gonna align it to the top. Use our arrow keys to push it down if we need to. We are going to not display these because we want room for our shoe. Okay, so we have luxury shoes, step into luxury, boom, boom, boom. We have our shoe. Now this is an area where now we can make these vertical. Okay, to begin with though, we're gonna take our section, we're gonna set this to auto. Okay, now this section here, we are going to set this to be 100 VH. Or excuse me, not that section. We're gonna set this to be 100 VH. Okay. We're gonna set this to auto. Just double check everything. Maybe we'll do 50 VH for now. 50, we're just messing around with things. 80, let's try 90. Okay, that works for us. So we'll do 90, and now this section, this second portion, right? So we have our container, we need to go back to our section. I want to make sure that this, I'm gonna set this to auto. Now this height though, I'm gonna just, for right now, I'm gonna set this to another 100 VH. Will give us a lot more room to play with. Okay, now this is where I'm gonna now select our container here and go from 4x1, 4 columns in one row. We're gonna make it 1 column, 4 rows, just like this. And there we go, there we have it. We have shoe 1, shoe 2, shoe 3, shoe 4, shoe 5. Now, if I really wanted to, of course, like there's 2 of the same shoes at the same time. We don't want that. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we are going to take this shoe and we're gonna put this at the bottom right here. And we're gonna take that other shoe that we have right here, we're gonna put it at the top. And the one cool thing that's awesome about Editor X is that basically everything kind of cascades, and also depending, like if I'm changing things on the mobile, it does not mess things up on tablet and or desktop. So now these lines that I have here, I can actually go ahead in my layers, and I'm just gonna select all of them and hit do not display. So don't display, don't display, and don't display. Oops. did the actual container. So don't display. All right. Now here, I kind of want a little bit more space in between each one of my shoes. So I'm gonna go into my gaps here, and I'm gonna do about 20 pixels of space. Might even do a little bit more. Let's try 40, 50. Okay. And going back to my container here, I'm gonna go to the height of it, or rather our section. We're gonna go here to where it's 100 VH. We're gonna set this to auto, because this container, I wanna set the height to, let's try 1000. Gives a little bit more space to each one of these shoes. And maybe what I wanna do, maybe something I wanna play around with, is I am going to grab just a line, and I'm going to place it just as a decoration. I'm gonna attach it. I'm gonna center in each one of these grid cells. I'm gonna give it that gold color that we have. And I'm going to duplicate this and put this in each one of the grid cells that we have. And if you guys want to learn more about EditorX, we have tons and tons of videos in our on our YouTube channel giving you guys tutorials, tips, tricks, and also please join us every Wednesday at 1 p.m. EST in our Discord, where we literally talk about everything from design, no code, freelance, business, to help you guys in your design, UI, UX, and no code journeys. So definitely check that out. Okay, guys, here is Luxure Shoes. And this didn't take that much time at all. So we have our mobile, we have our tablet, and we have our desktop. And simply all we have to do is hit publish. We're gonna call this Luxure Shoes. Save and continue. And let's check this puppy out. Let's go to the site. And there we have it, Luxure Shoes. We have our main shoe. We obviously can make that bigger, and we have these puppies as well. Now, guys, this didn't take a lot of time. Okay, imagine if we did spend a little bit more time, crafting these puppies, making sure everything was, standard. But let's make a couple changes here. Let's make a couple changes. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna set this to. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. I'm gonna center this here. And I am going to select this entire section. I'm going to set this to 100. And let's see what happens. Set this to the bottom. Maybe move this up 1, maybe 2. Let's publish. Let's view our site. All right. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've scaled up my shoe here. We're gonna go to we're trying to find our section, show. We're gonna hide overflow content so we don't have any, if I don't do that, let's take a look. Let's go to our section, let's go to back to show. We have this little scroll bar. We don't want that on the website. So we are going to hide overflow content so we don't have that scroll bar. And we are going to make sure that the padding for this, we're gonna push a little bit more padding at the top, 50, just like this. And we're gonna actually swap all of these shoes, meaning we're just gonna go to adjust. We are going to, what if we did 180? What does that look like? Definitely not. All right, so I think for this, just for this particular one, I'm just gonna choose all of the left facing ones, just to kind of save my tail here. Okay, and this will not, like I said, this will not affect, oh, I guess it will. All right, so let's undo that. And instead, let's just change where the lines are coming from. And maybe what we can do instead, so we flip this, so it's nice little alternating shoes. So it goes one way, other way, one way, other way. And we are gonna have these lines in the backs of the shoes. There we go. Perfect. Looks good. And last thing I'm gonna do is, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna start with this one. We're gonna take this one, we're gonna put it down here. And we're gonna swap these two. Go to my pages or my layers here, boom. There we go. To the back of the shoe. Perfecto. All right, looking good. Let's go ahead and publish. All right, guys, so this is exactly what we have from basically ideating with MidJourney for what a luxurious shoe brand could look like. Some nice black and gold. We asked it for inspiration. It gave us an amazing output, which is basically this puppy right here. And we just took this as inspiration, and basically what we just done is we used MidJourney to come up with a concept like this, to come up with really what a high quality sneaker shoe luxury brand could look like. We then went to ChatGPT. We used in our Discord. We basically asked, hey, you know, what could a luxury brand name, can you write me a luxury brand name as well as write me a tagline for that brand for the website? It did exactly that. It gave us luxury shoes and the tagline step into luxury. On top of that, we also asked, you know, what is the first paragraph, or what would be the first paragraph of the luxury shoes website? And it gave us all of that. And what we were able to put together in a very short time in EditorX is this beautiful puppy. Luxury shoe, or luxury shoes step into luxury. Welcome to luxury shoes, where you can find the finest footwear for every occasion. Our collection of luxury shoes is crafted with the highest quality of material and designed to provide maximum comfort and style. Now, on top of that, we have some of our other menu items here. We didn't even add animation to this, but guys, we have a nice clean website that is mobile responsive as well as beautiful on the desktop. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, take a listen to these final pieces of information here. So ladies and gentlemen, final words here about AI. AI in your mind should be opportunity. These are tools that allow us to create much faster, much more efficiently, and be able to come up with more creative ideas a lot quicker. And for what that means for creatives, just like I said in the beginning, yes, maybe this will happen. Things, the employee, individual creative landscape will change, because these tools are empowering creatives like you and me to be able to build much smarter, much bigger on a scale that you don't need a business of 200 people anymore. You need one person, few tools, and that alone can make a big impact. Just as you guys saw today with using MidJourney and for inspiration visually, using ChatGPT to come up with some of the content and even develop what the actual brand name is, and how we talk about it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I highly implore you, all the instances that we talked about in this video and the example that I gave at the end for how you can use AI to build your website from scratch in literally minutes. Take this, run with it, and be the best creative for 2023, 2024, 2025. If you master this stuff, you guys will be unstoppable. So that is my message for you guys today. I would love to know what you guys have learned about AI, not only in the comments below, but in our Discord. You guys can join, links down in the description, or go to editorx.tv and sign up for our Discord there. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys try out more of MidJourney, more of ChatGPT, and of course, try your hand at EditorX and make some really cool no-code websites. All right, guys, take it easy, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. With that said, your favorite designer, Brandon Gross, out. Peace.